Hi, good evening and welcome to
Chatroom.
And this is our online program where we'll be talking about the hottest stories and the social media dramas in Thailand. And it also includes our cheeky commentaries as well. I'm Nat Bunna.
I'm Frank Kanshi.
I'm Morisala Sehan.
And we have a new member in the show.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you.
Yeah, so Wirisora will be filling in for Gitipat today, who's on sick leave. So hopefully he will get well soon.
Yeah, wishing to come back soon. But I think there are a lot of topics this week. There's a lot of topics about digital wallet scheme. This is the first story we're going to talk about. According to the digital wallet scheme, the Sedatawisi government, of course, will distribute 10,000 baht to Thai citizens. More than 50 million people will be eligible for the program, which per Thai has said will cost 560 billion baht, with distribution to start in the first quarter of 2024 at the earliest. But actually, there are some, quarrels in the parliament that Move Forward Party they would like to complain and want to talk about this program is not at the right timing. Move Forward Party also said that populist schemes such as the digital wallet should be implemented at the time when the economy is contracting. But actually from the government side, the Deputy Finance Minister assured Parliament that the government will adhere to fiscal discipline and will not source the funding for the digital wallet scheme from national reserves, from the Social Security Fund, or by borrowing. Under this digital wallet scheme in the form of utility tokens, Thai nationals could spend on goods or services with a 4-kilometer radius, which aims to boost the local economy. But purchasing cigarettes, alcohol, and shopping at online platform will not be allowed. Of course, this we can understand actually this program is the way to bolster the local economy. So it's not possible to buy things on Shopee, on Lazada, but we're gonna go to the local shops, the local stores to buy things.
So it is interesting if we're going to talk about how are we going to use the 10,000 baht in our digital wallets, especially when it's only within a 4-kilometer radius from our homes. So the question is, if you have 10,000 baht wired into your digital wallets, what would you do? Frank, what would you do?
I think because I live around Tarukja area, I think I will go to some massage store. Of course, it's really it's a way to relax yourself, and it's actually the massage price in Thailand is really cheap, right? Comparing to other countries, kind of like 400 to 500 baht for 1 hour. For 1 hour or 90 minutes for Thai massage. It's very good for me to make me relax every day.
Oh, I can tell that you love. I'm still thinking because it's kind of interesting that you can use only 10,000 baht. And for some people, it might not be enough. Because this might be like a handful money for those who might not be able to make ends meet, for those who need to buy food or anything that is necessary for their lives. But for me, I think I would go for food because I'm a foodie myself. So I would use that 10,000 baht for delicious food or anything whether it's street food or just from shops that allow us to use the digital wallets.
Yes.
Actually, as what you said, 10,000 baht actually it's quite big amount for certain of people in the country. And you can imagine if the regulation says that, okay, we have to use this 10,000 baht in the radius of 4 kilometers. Imagine if we live in Phetchaburi or some suburban area, 4-kilometer radius, where could we go? Maybe in the 4 kilometer, there's no shop at all. So what to do?
But for some villages though, the supermarket is at a different area and it's already beyond the 4-kilometer radius. So that means these people may not be able to use the digital wallets for that cause, especially if the shops are outside of their neighborhoods. What about you, Warisara? What would you like to use if you've got 10,000 baht in your digital wallets?
Well, me personally, I like to cook. So first thing that come in my mind, it would be stock up my groceries. for cooking and all that stuff. So that would be the first thing that come to my mind when it's come to digital wallet. And it's a good point that you point out that how about in the countryside?
Yeah.
What about what if it's further than just 4 kilometers and all that stuff? That's pretty a good point.
That's the problem actually, just for the government to think about 4-kilometer radius for people living in suburban area or in village. What can they do? Because it's already 4 kilometers is a really short distance for them. There's another issue. I think digital wallet, it depends on the blockchain technology. So it might take a long time for us to wait for the digital wallet scheme implemented next year, because of course, according to Sitatawi's administration, it's next year, the beginning of next year. So we're gonna see when the policy will be implemented.
Well, if they change from 4-kilometer radius to 5 kilometers, then it might sound more reasonable.
Yeah.
But then there have been reports that they may not use blockchain technology anymore. This is just speculations. But because not everyone has access to the internet or like 4G or 5G mobile signals yet. So they really have to consider those who are living in countrysides, because not everyone is going to have access to internet or even digital wallets. Some people even not use smartphones as well. So the government really needs to figure out how they're going to distribute it inclusively.
Yes, I agree with that, especially in the elderly. I'm pretty sure that, okay, most of the elderly would familiar with the technology already, but how about the rest? There will be some group of people or elderly people that won't.
They won't change or
Yes,
even
yes.
learn new things because they get used to something. They might be getting more reluctant to learning new technologies. And I'm pretty sure many of you have experienced your grandparents or some elderly just asking her for help on how to use Line or even other apps as well. So that is another problem that we need to consider.
And another good point there, because not as what you both said, not every elderly group, they could use the mobile phone. So according to Taiwan's strategy before, during COVID-19, we used the voucher. So the physical voucher for everyone to have 5,000 baht to use. So maybe physical voucher for certain group is a practical way.
And that would be really interesting. And now let's move on to another issue. And this is about having babies in Thailand. And that became a hot topic yesterday because the public health minister made a statement that says Thai society is becoming distorted because people do not want to have babies. So the public health minister Cholana Srikiaw raised the issue during the House debate after Prime Minister Sethar Thavisin announced his policy statement earlier this week. While he was delivering his public health policies, he said that the belief of having more babies will make you poor should be banished from everyone's minds. And he even said that Thai people do not want to have children, especially those with high educational backgrounds. Some people get married and force the husband to get the vasectomy, and this shows how Thai society is becoming distorted. And distorted is actually a key word from the statement. In response, Move for Her Party MP Pakornwut Udom Pipatsakul posted on Twitter saying that if a married couple does not want to have children, it is their own business. So the question is it worth being a national agenda, or is it completely none of your business? So what are your thoughts on having babies? Because I think people of your generation have different views of having babies now.
Of course. Well, I think these days the cost of living has been, raising up a lot. So for me personally, I think I have to have a very, deep consideration in this matter, because it is important that you are ready to, you are ready to have a child or children when, you can support all of the tuition fees and all of the, cost of living, because it's quite high. So you need to be ready. And me personally, I think I would work harder for this in order to have a kids and all that stuff.
You also raised about the pets point, right?
Yes,
About that.
yes. Well, most people in my generation now, they think, most of them would think that the cost of living would be more high up than this, or maybe like in 10 years after this, the cost of living could be even higher. So some of them would decide to have a pet as a friendly
friendly companion.
Yeah, friendly companion, like along with their families,
Yeah.
and even the couples, they would have like pets instead of, they think that it would be less invest. If I could put in that way, it could be less invest
In terms of the cost.
Right.
in terms of the cost.
But then
yes.
when we raise pets, it does have a cost of living in there as well. So we have to consider many things, whether it's like pets food, pets shelter, or taking them to the hospital. It does have like a fixed cost when we're raising pets as well. But yes, of course, it's kind of different when we're raising children because that takes like longer compared to pets. What about you? What are your thoughts? Like,
I think this question is really, really good.
Yeah.
In a way that national agenda, of course, is a way to help the country in terms of economy, in terms of aging society. That's what we always talk about. But aging society, according to UN, actually, the society inside 65 years old accounts for 7 to 14% of the total population. It's called aging society. But in Thailand, according to World Bank, in 2016, Thailand, they are 11%. So actually Thailand is already in aging society and we're gonna embrace for aged society. So national agenda, of course, I think as a business correspondent, I of course focus on that and I agree with that. But what Nancy Grau said is too harsh. And what's the
Yes,
practical
agreed.
way?
Yes.
What's the practical way to have more children in our country? And actually comparing to Taiwan's policy, of course, right now, new generation, if we have our one child, we're gonna receive around 5,000 to 7,000 baht. But if you have second one, of course, it's doubled. So I'm not sure about Thailand's policy right now or the new government's policy to propose about the new children. We need to have new generation in our country for the labor force. But I think what Nancy Gao said is not practical at all, and people will feel offensive about it.
Of course.
Yeah, but even though he wants to push it as a national agenda, he does seem to have a point because the current birth rate in Thailand has been decreasing, and last year it has reached a point where it has gone below the death rate. So that was why Thailand has been quite concerned about the changing populations and considering about increasing the birth rates. However, I agree with you is that what Cholanan said was way too harsh, and it seems to be not really understanding of why people do not want to have children. It's more than just not wanting to have children. It's just many other things, whether it's the cost of living, being unsure about whether they can raise a child with good quality. Because if we really consider the facts, if you want to send someone to a very good school, it takes a lot of money. Like if you want to send them to an international school, you have to spend like at least 1 million a year. And that is way too much for many families, to be honest, because if you look at other schools under the government's administration, it's much cheaper. But how can we be sure that this will give them the best education? So many parents have to think a lot about that. And this doesn't include many other things, whether it's toys or anything that helps with their education. There are so many other things. And what about holidays as well, if they're going to go on a school break? That is like a lot of things that they have to consider as well. And what about when they go to university and later on? There are so many steps to think about, and that is pretty much why people felt that maybe not. Maybe we should not have babies, especially with this kind of economy at the moment.
Comparing to our parents' generation, actually I talked to my parents when they decided to have me. So actually, it's kind of like 24-year-old. But for us, I think it's not the case for our generation. We might need to save the money until 30, 35, or even some people, they have baby at the age of 40. So that's why
Yes.
people have to, postpone the plan for children, or maybe actually at the age of 40, we think that, okay, it's not a good timing for us, and just two of us together.
Well, in some certain cultures,
Yeah.
they have like a certain age for
Yeah.
having a babies or even go to do, get married and all that stuff. So I think for this new generation, it will be some change, of course, because of the cost of living. That's why we have to be ready, right?
Or
for
are
all
you
this.
thinking about to have children right now? I mean, like in an early age, are you thinking about the children step, having children stage?
Well, not right now
Yeah.
because I'm not ready. So
Right. But like one thing we have to point out
Yeah.
though, but I agree that it can be imposed as a national agenda in terms of increasing the birth rate and improving the reproductive health services, and especially those who have difficulties getting pregnant. But to comment in a sense where, oh, you're blaming someone for not having babies, saying that it's because of their education, because of their mindset, it's actually none of their business. It's like, it's a choice. We have to say that it's a couple's choice whether whether they could have children or have pets or even mango seeds. There was like something viral in China where they took mango seeds as pets instead, and whatever they choose, it's their choice, and we're not supposed to force them to have children when they do not want to.
Yes, and 3 words to Siddhartha was saying, and the administration: policy, policy, policy. So it's
Yes.
not just about the words to condemn people, it's about the policy that you're gonna give to people to boost the birth rate.
Exactly.
it's important, that's a good point. But maybe Cholanan has to be like more soft and more gentle about this topic when you talk about this.
Exactly. And we have another issue which has gone viral on Thai social media, right?
Yes. Now let's take a look at the song that has gone viral on Thai social media, คนจนมีสิทธิ์ไหมคะ Well, which is adapted from the original version สมองจน since there are so many controversies about the language used in the song and how both versions reflects to Thai social issues.
I'm shocked with the lyrics though.
It's very funny song here.
So there are quite various opinions after this song คนจนมีสิทธิ์ไหมคะ adapted from สมองจน has gone viral for language used in the song that some people point out that the song has many inappropriate words in the adapted version คนจนมีสิทธิ์ไหมคะ It shows bad examples to children and minors. However, on the other hand, some older people in the northeast Thailand added that the language used in the song was not an issue until this day. Well, they said that back then it was more like a cultural inside joke, which contains a double meaning joke used in Molam or northeastern style songs for entertainment. It is interpreted that I am that poor, so I have nothing left to give. While this topic has been in flames, there are quite interesting points that the lyrics could voice up the poverty gap in Thailand. If we can look at the lyrics of both versions, it even reflects how poor people's lives would be without money and privilege. Besides, คนจนมีสิทธิ์ไหมคะ also depicts poverty issues in Thai context. Well, in some Thai contexts, when some individuals or some women without any support have to use their private parts to pave the way out of poverty. Therefore, this song might be another way of sarcastic weapon of the weak to shout out on the issue.
So this song has been viral for the past week, and many people have poked fun of the word คนจนมีสิทธิ์ไหมคะ So it translates as, so do these poor people have any rates or chances to do certain things in order to get out of poverty? So this one has been viral, and many people poked fun of it because it's so relatable. Because Thailand, like at least half of Thailand, many of the villages are still trying to climb out of poverty. So they find these lyrics to be very relatable. And because of its catchy lyrics, they felt like, oh, I can dance to it too. Even though like I didn't agree with the rude words or any profanity in the song, if you really look into the lyrics, you can see that there's like, it does reflect that Thailand has been like this for decades, and it's still relatable now.
I think it's not about the lyrics literally. I think it's about what the society is, why people like the song so much. It's about the poverty, the poor issues in the society that the government should tackle with immediately. So that's why actually when this video gone viral, this music gone viral, even my friends, Thai friends, they already, talk when we meet each other and they just sing this song and they say that as what you said, some people in Thailand, they still live under the poverty line. So they, as what you said, they have to climb up from the poverty.
And we can see that many people who are under the poverty line have tried to climb their way out of it. And so they have also felt that because they do not have the privilege, the wealth, or social status, it would be difficult for them to navigate through life. Because we have to say one thing, that when people have fame, the privilege, the social status, they will get more benefits in life compared to the poor people. And that's the sad truth that we cannot run away from.
Yeah, actually in Taiwan there are a lot of songs about this kind of reflecting what happened in the society. So in Taiwan there's some song about bully at school. So I think this kind of song, of course there are some rude words inside, but that's not the point. The point is how the government or the administration will tackle all these difficulties in the society. What's your thoughts?
Yes. Well, actually, okay, so actually like if you really look at the whole lyrics of both songs, it reflects like poverty in Thailand. So it's more like even I am smart, but if I don't have money to support any education, I still am poor. So, and for women, actually, without any supports, in this song context, they say that the only thing that they have left is that, you know what I mean?
Themselves.
Themselves, yes. Yeah. So I talked to some of my friends who live in Northeast Thailand. They say that in the past, well, could be like a cultural thing to joke about, but, the joke sometimes comes from the truth and all that stuff.
Like there's always some truth behind every single joke anyway, and the poverty thingy has always been part of the joke for many Thais for a very long time as well.
But I agree that the songs has like inappropriate words in it, so it wouldn't be like a good example for children or kids to listen to and know and catch up like some bad words. But that's not the point, as you said. The point is what it reflects on the whole lyrics.
Yeah, it doesn't matter about the swear words, which we hate to say this, is that many of the swear words are in almost every pop song. But then the point is the message that they're trying to get across. Like for this case, they want to get across the problems that people under the poverty line are facing. Okay, it is true that we should not include any profanity in music because we have to care about the vulnerable groups of people such as children. But then, as we said, the message that needs to come across, it's the whole point. Like many hip hop songs or rap songs, they are they all try to get the message across. And I think sometimes people get too sensitive about profanity because like for certain people, having profanity in music is okay, it's fine. It's not like we're going to say like that in their daily conversation. It's just music. But on the other side of it, okay, we do have to care about the vulnerable groups of people who actually listen to that music and then learn the lyrics from it as well.
Yeah, it's what you said, like the rap song, because it kind of like stirred up what happened in the society as when in United States, of course, when one citizen was killed by cop. So there's some certain group, they write about the rap song and they talk about what happened in the society. And this is the same case in Thailand too, as in why people, so that's why people have the voice about poverty, that the government should listen to them.
And poverty is something that is relatable to everyone as well. And now let's move on to K-pop news with the news of Lisa of Blackpink. It has been revealed that she is set to be the first K-pop act to perform at Crazy Horse in Paris at the end of this month. And despite the exciting news, unfortunately, Lisa's Instagram account has been terrorized by some Chinese fans. Lisa of Blackpink made an announcement on her Instagram story that she will be performing at the Crazy Horse at the end of September. Crazy Horse is a famous cabaret and burlesque show in Paris featuring a group of female dancers wearing revealing outfits. Many global artists such as Beyonce and Christina Aguilera have performed at the Crazy Horse before, and therefore Lisa will be the very first K-pop idol to perform. Many Blinks have expressed their excitement and even hope for the performance to be available online. However, the news also came with immense backlash among Chinese anti-fans who took to Lisa's Instagram to complain. Some even commented that Lisa has a lot of teenage fans but chose to perform at a strip club, which is unacceptable for them. So the question is, why is Lisa's appearance at the Crazy Horse such a big deal? What are your thoughts?
That's the difference between Eastern and Western cultures, right? Because of course, Western culture, they are more open, but Eastern culture, we are more conservative.
Exactly.
But that's, I think when this news come in, I think we have to respect what Lisa choose to, because actually for us, what you said, Beyonce was on the show before. The Crazy Horse, of course, you can talk about it as a burlesque show. Women wearing really, revealing outfits. But for Lisa, some people, of course, they are waiting for the show. They want to see what really happened, what would Lisa dance, what would Lisa sings for this show. But for another group, of course, Chinese fans, maybe they are more conservative. It's not acceptable for them, but for us, I think just respect what Lisa chooses.
And I think that in Lisa's context, they would, I don't think they're gonna put Lisa's in the circumstances that is risky. You know what I mean?
Yep.
For example, like Beyonce and all that stuff, it's not like they would wear like revealing clothes and all this. Yes.
Yeah, because if we have seen snippets of Crazy Horse, especially the one with Beyonce, what she wore on the show was not that skimpy to begin with, and it has been assured in a way that Lisa won't be wearing revealing clothes. But of course, they might do something, they might perform in a way that fits with the Crazy Horse concept. But I'm pretty sure that Lisa won't go along the lines that would be too risky for herself.
Yeah, right?
It's
Exactly.
it's for PR, and I think as what you said, when we as an audience looking at Lisa, it's about how you look at it. You look at in an artistic way or in sexual content way. But I think for Lisa, of course, it's all about PR, about her performance is up to the adequate level. So I think looking forward to that.
And the thing is, she's the main dancer of Blackpink. What do you expect? She's going to pull off any performance anyway. And if you're fans of Blackpink to begin with, whether it's at a concert or music videos, Lisa has danced her heart out anyway. And the way she performs, we are all familiar with sexy performances by Lisa anyway. So if she's going to perform at the Crazy Horse, it would not be that surprising. However, the Chinese anti-fans seems to be overly sensitive because they felt like K-pop idols need to be a good role model for the kids when she's a fully grown woman. So that means she can do whatever she wants. Look at Beyonce, look at Christina Aguilera. She has many teenage fans, but they still perform at the Crazy Horse.
And I think like having a sexy performance, it doesn't mean like it's a bad example for vulnerable groups. So
it's kind of like celebrate your own identity. And as you talk about Chinese fans, of course, in their mind, for Chinese idols in China, of course, they need to be the role model for Chinese fans. But of course, for Korean, for Thai artists like Lisa, she has the right to celebrate and, of course, dance for her fans.
Exactly, but we will have to wait and see. And one point we have to mention is that the Crazy Horse performance does not allow the large amount of audience compared to concerts. If you expect a concert type of audience, this will not happen at the Crazy Horse because the seats are actually limited to only about 200 people. And one of the rules is that they are not allowed to film the performance as well. So it is very unlikely that we would get to see the performance because I think they have set out a rule that hey, you're not allowed to film without their consent or knowledge.
Yes.
It's not like a concert where you could do almost anything you want, even though it's kind of discouraged anyway.
And I'm interested in the ticket price too. How much is it actually?
But it actually got sold out. That shows how popular she is in Paris. And many people have been anticipated for Lisa's performance at the Crazy Horse.
Right. The Crazy Horse will take place in Paris, but if we want to go to Paris, we have to take plane, of course.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure that many people love to travel, but sometimes we're gonna meet some annoyance when you take plane, when you take train, and actually we have Agoda's research data here. Agoda recently unveiled its travel bugbear survey for this year, which looks into the biggest in-flight annoyance among passengers in 10 countries across Asia, including Thailand. These are the top 5 frustrations according to the survey you can see on the screen right now. The first one is discourteous behavior, delayed flights, loud passengers who are rude or disrespectful to airline staff, reclining a seat without checking. Focusing only on Thai respondents, what bothers them the most is discourteous behavior, flight delays, and loud passengers. Respondents from Taiwan and South Korea also find this to be the most offensive. As for respondents from the Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Vietnam, the biggest pet peeve for them is flight delays. So the question is, what annoys you the most when you're boarding a plane? So actually, I experienced the 5th one, the reclining a seat without checking. So actually, when I recline the seat to the back, I always check the passenger at the back to say, oh, is it okay for you or not? But that time when I flew from Hong Kong to Qatar, and actually I did this courteous behavior, but at the back, the passenger kicked my back.
Oh my God,
yes.
I didn't think that they would kick your back.
Yes, just kick the back. So actually, some people will be really, furious about this action from the back seat. But I think my suggestion is just talk to the cabin crew, because I talked to the cabin crew that time and I was upgraded to business.
Oh my God, that's so lucky.
Wow. Yes, but it's lucky. I'm really lucky that time.
Yeah, but reclining a seat, it can be really sensitive for so many passengers because especially in the economy class, the space is very limited. So that means if someone reclines a seat, that means your space will be reduced. Yeah. So you'll be like this. And you cannot go anywhere if someone reclines a seat like that. And that is like, oh my God, don't get me into this.
Yeah. And actually about this rude behavior, if you, I mean the passenger, too rude, really disturbing for others, actually we have video too. The airline police, they have the right to go on the aircraft, of course, to take down the passenger. And you can see right now on the screen that actually it's the cabin crew, the flight attendant, talk to the passenger that you should stop whining and to be polite in the jet. So, of course, sometimes in the air jet, in the flight, as what you say, in the economy class, it's really packed. Sometimes the seat is really small, and if there's any disturbing behavior there, the situation will go really worse. So that's why the police come in.
Right, but there are many annoyances on the airplane, and there have been a few photos that have gone viral on social media, whether it's someone sticking their foot from the back of your seat or someone just like arguing with you with the arm seats. But what really annoys me the most?
Yeah, what's that?
Can you guess?
Delay flights?
No.
What?
Loud.
It's babies
loud.
screaming in the airplane, like, oh my God, don't get me into this, because this does happen. When we have to understand one thing though, the nature of babies when they go on the flight and with a lot of air pressure, of course babies will get uncomfortable, but this is not the case.
Yep.
But it's something else, and we don't know what is happening with them, so we won't judge. But the noise, if they get like whiny, they started screaming, they started shouting, it just really disturbs your peace. Especially if you're on a long flight from Bangkok to somewhere, it's like, oh my God.
Well, I think moms in this new generation, they kind of like prepare for that. They kind of like prepare the baby not to, let them scream so much. So they would be like, okay, they will prepare the milk, and they will like, maybe put the babies on sleep while flying on the plane, so that the babies don't scream and whining all the time.
But that is going to be a huge challenge for parents whenever they have to take their children onto the planes, onto the flight with them. But then there have been a few airlines that have done few things. For example, like Japan Airlines have made how do you call it, like an announcement or like a notice that if you're going to book a seat somewhere and if there's like a symbol next to them, that means there's a baby sitting right next to you. So if you're okay with that, that is fine. But if you want to move, then just move. So it's just like, it serves as a notice. So if you know that you get aggravated very easily with the sound of children, whiny children, to be very specific, then it's best to change to a different seat. So that is what some of the airlines have done before. I hope that our Thai airlines have done that too.
There's another regulation there actually. It's about silent zone. When you book your seat inside and you can see, okay, actually this is the silent zone, so baby and children couldn't be placed in the silent zone. So I think according to one airline right now. But there's another debate that actually babies under a certain age couldn't embark on flights too. But some people say that it's inhuman, of course. If the parents want to take children out, why not?
Because it's understandable that some families do have to bring their children with them, or else who will be taking care of them when they're away? So they have no choice. But what they can do is more like a compromise between the family and the airline itself. But what about you? What really annoys you the most when you go on a plane?
Well, delay flights, because I travel a lot with the connecting flights. So if my first flight delay, it's gonna affect the rest of the flights that I'll having in that day. So what's annoying me the most would be the delayed flight.
How long was the delay though?
Well, sometimes it was like 2 hours, and I would have like 1 hour layover. Until the next flight, and sometimes it takes sometimes for me to kind of walk to the gate and kind of like check in the tickets for the flight and all, And yes, so the most annoying
The most annoying one.
would
The
be
connect-
delayed.
Yeah, the delayed flights. And sometimes it also level up your cost too, because you have to find a maybe hostel, hotel outside of the airport, and maybe you have to wait another day for the next
Yeah,
flight.
that really bothers me too. So at first it might be like a 2-hour delay, but then you have to sleep at the hotel near the airport and wait for another flight the next day. It can be really time consuming for many people, especially when they have something to do in the next country as well. All right, and that wraps up tonight's edition of Thai PBS World Chat Room. So join us every Wednesday at 6 p.m. only on Thai PBS World. And don't forget to follow us on social media and our website, thaipbsworld.com, for all the latest updates about Thailand as well as analyses. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ